He gave up his father's house, the only thing tying him to his family legacy, thinking it would bring peace, love, and unity. Instead, it tore everything apart. This is the heartbreaking story of how one man's sacrifice became the reason he lost everything. A tale of love, sacrifice, betrayal, and the devastating consequences of a single decision meant to protect, but which ended up destroying. Imagine giving away your inheritance, your only link to home, just to prove your love. Now imagine watching that love crumble and realizing you've burned the only bridge back to the people who truly mattered. That's what happened to Chuka, and his story will break your hearts. Chuka was the first son of a proud Igbo family. His father, a retired teacher, left him the family house in Enugu, not because he was the eldest, but because he was the one who stood by him during his final days. Chuka thought that house would one day bring his family together. But when love entered the picture, so did choices. Painful ones. When he gave the house up to make a woman happy, he had no idea that decision would haunt him for the rest of his life. It all started 5 years ago when Chuka met Lola. She wasn't just beautiful. She was a dreamer, fiancée, independent, and determined to build a better life. She was tired of living in rented apartments and believed in building something permanent. One day, while driving back from church, Lola brought up an idea. Why don't we move into your father's house in Enugu and renovate it? We'll turn it into our forever home, she said with a soft smile. Chuka hesitated. That house wasn't just a building. It was history. It was where his siblings grew up. It was where his father breathed his last. But Lola pressed on. It's just sitting there, gathering dust, she said. Your brothers don't even care about it. She pressed on, and eventually Chuka agreed. They sold the house below market value and used the money to buy a piece of land and start building their dream home in Lagos. He didn't tell his siblings until after the sale was finalized. That was when the beginning of the end. His younger brother, Ikena, was furious. You sold our father's house without asking us? What kind of elder brother does that? His sister, Daisy, cried. I wanted to take my children there one day. Chuka, you took that away from me. Chuka tried to explain. He believed the house was a burden to them, that they all had moved on, but it didn't matter. They felt betrayed. And for a while, Chuka clung to the belief that love would heal everything. He poured himself into building the house. With Lola, brick by brick, it felt like a fresh start, but slowly the cracks began to show. Lola changed. She became distant, then demanding, like over-demanding. The house project became a source of endless tension. When Chuka lost his job, she was less forgiving than he expected. You gave everything away for me, she snapped during an argument. Now look where we are. The house project stalled. They borrowed money. Chuka's pride wouldn't let him go back to his siblings for help. He stopped picking Ikena's call. He ignored Adeze's messages. His mother stopped asking for him. Then came the worst blow. Lola left. She was tired of poverty. She was tired of struggling. She moved out and fight for separation. She said she was tired of the struggle, tired of the man who couldn't give her the life he promised. And Chuka was left with half-built walls, empty rooms, and silence. The love he gave everything up for had vanished, and so had his family. Months passed. During the Christmas season, Chuka tried to visit home. He wasn't invited. The compound gates were locked. His mother was inside, but she told the gatekeeper not to open it. He wept outside the house, the very one he had thought was worthless, the one that could have kept the family together. He wrote letters, apologized, but the pain ran deep. His siblings couldn't understand why he chose a woman over them, why he didn't at least ask. And truth be told, neither could he. Months turned into years. The house he tried to build never got completed. With Lola gone and debts piling up, Chuka moved into a tiny one-room apartment in Agege, Lagos. From having the family house under his care to living in a room with a leaking roof. He found a job as a school administrator. Not great pay, but it gave him routine. Still, the emotional weight never left him. Birthdays came. His mother's 70th birthday passed. No invitation, no calls, no mentions. And one day, while scrolling through Facebook, Chuka saw a photo that pierced his heart. A family gathering, his siblings, their children, even cousins he hadn't seen in years, all seated around his mother, smiling in front of a large Christmas tree. He zoomed into the picture. His old chair, the one he used to sit on beside his father, was now occupied by his younger brother. And that night he wept uncontrollably. The weight of everything hit him again. Not just the house, but how he had isolated himself. How he had made a decision for everyone without asking. And how that choice made him a stranger in his own bloodline. So, he began writing letters again. Not emails, not texts. Real letters, handwritten. Tear-stained. To Ikena, I failed you as a brother. I thought I was doing something good, but now I see how much I hurt you. You were right to be angry. And to Adizi, you and I shared so many memories in that house. I thought selling it would help us all move on. Instead, I erased part of your history. I'm sorry. And to his mother, Mama, I miss your voice, your cooking, your prayers. If there is any forgiveness in your heart, please think of me when you kneel to pray. He sent them through a courier, then waited, days passed, and then weeks, no response. One rainy night, Chuka stood in front of the old house. A new family lived there now. Children's laughter echoed from the compound. The mango tree where his father used to sit had been cut down. He whispered, I thought I was doing the right thing, but the house didn't answer. He went to the house where his mother lived. He dropped a note at the gate. I was wrong. I see it now. If you ever forgive me, know that I never meant to divide us. As he turned to leave, a car pulled up. It was Ikena. They locked eyes. No words, just silence. And then Ikena drove away. It was the deepest cuts, not anger, not hate, just nothing. Chuka got home, walked into his room and slumped on his bed. He hadn't eaten all day. His rent was due. His shirt had a tear in the sleeve. And just then, someone knocked on the door. Chuka opened the door and froze. There, standing before him, soaked in the Lagos rain, was Ikena. Behind him, holding a tray of jollof rice and pepper soup, was her Daisy. And standing under an umbrella, barely able to hide her tears, was their mother. Chuka stumbled back in shock. What are you all doing here? Ikena stepped forward. We read your letter, every single word, and we realized you didn't betray us out of it. You just didn't know how much that house meant to all of us. But you are still our brother. Daisy sniffed. We have lost enough time, Chuka. We want our brother back. Mama didn't say anything. She walked up to him, slowly placed her trembling hands on his cheek and said, My son, home is not a building. Home, it's you. And you are my home. Chuka broke down. His knees gave way as tears poured from his eyes. For years he had dreamed of this moment, but nothing prepared him for the warmth, the relief, the forgiveness, They spent the weekend in his tiny room. They cooked, they laughed, they shared stories. They even prayed together, something they hadn't done in nearly 5 years. The next morning, as the sun rose over Agege, Chuka stood by the window watching his family pack up their things. Ikena turned to him and said, "Next month we are having a family reunion in Aba. You are coming, no excuse." Chuka nodded, a gentle smile on his face. "I'll be there." And for the first time in years, he meant it. Chuka's story is not just about a man who lost everything. It's about how the people we try to protect can become the ones we hurt the most when love clouds our judgments. He gave up the only piece of home he had, believing it was a sacrifice worth making for love. But love, real love, should never cost you your roots. In trying to build a future, he buried his past and lost the only people who truly knew his soul. What would you have done in Chuka's place? Was his sacrifice noble or foolish? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you were touched by this story, keep watching my videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, because somewhere out there, someone else might need to hear this story today. Thank you for watching.